Hello, you're listening to Over the Oxer podcast with Tracy Cole for all things to do with the mind for equestrians. I'm going to do just a very short recording today. Haven't been feeling on top of the world, just got a really bad cold, but I've been in bed for a long while and I just need to come back into work really slowly. So a short little podcast today, just about soothing the emotional part of your brain. So when your emotional part of the brain, the amygdala, is on really high alert all the time, it's exhausting because your mind is looking for those things that are going to upset you or things that are going to frighten you. And so you get this skewed perception. And we do it with our riding. If you constantly think or have in your mind an idea that what you're about to do in terms of the riding is scary, it just makes it 100 times worse. We've talked about how it shuts down all the reasoning parts of your mind, all the logic, and you're just flooded. You're flooded with that negative emotion, and it becomes a real vicious cycle. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to break that vicious cycle and to switch, at least for a short amount of time, even when you're just thinking about riding, you're not actually doing it, to switch off that high alert system and put you into a more relaxed state. And eventually, these types of habits become stronger habits. And what used to trigger you no longer triggers you in the same way. Everything's a bit dampened down until these things are no longer problems. So there's a couple of things that we can do. And these, as I say, are working towards confidence, working towards feeling good in the saddle. They may not be the be-all and end-all. And I have to admit that for me, these weren't the be-all and end-all. They were part of a multi-pronged attack. So the amygdala needs soothing. Riding is something that we actually want to do and we want to enjoy. Then the world becomes far less dangerous and far less negative, and we can start to enjoy ourselves. So I want to just talk about two things that you can start to do to work on your amygdala. The first one is breathing, and you've probably tried breathing before, and maybe you've tried breathing when you're already getting into that hyper alert state. The thing about breathing exercises is to try them when you're actually feeling okay as well, and it doesn't take very long. So the first one, see if you can prolong your breathing out phase, just to allow you to exhale out all the tension of your body, and see if you can work up to exhaling for a count of 4. And then a count of 6, and then a count of 8. And do this really gradually. And do this whilst you're seated and you're in a quiet spot. Or you're doing something very trivial. You're doing the dishes, you're doing some cleaning, you're mucking out. So that if you need to stop because you're feeling lightheaded, then you can do. So breathe in now, and then start to breathe out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then take some normal breaths. And then let's do it again. You ready? Breathe in and out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and take some normal breaths. And just continue to do this after a few normal breaths. Inhale again. And then out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and breathe normally again. And then let's do it a few more times. So if you're feeling okay, then let's breathe in and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. And again, breathe in and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, this, if you keep doing it whilst I'm just talking for a moment, this will help to soothe the amygdala and just help your body to relax a little. But it just takes time. And the first couple of times you do the breathing and not a lot happens. But then the second time you do it and you come back maybe to this episode and you feel yourself relax much more quickly. Another thing that we can do with a breathing exercise to give it a bit of a boost and a bit of an interest is to have a visualization. So let's do that breathing again. Let's do it breath after breath after breath. So are you ready? Inhale and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And go again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you're okay to do so, keep doing it. If you can go for 8, wonderful. If you can only do it for 4, wonderful. You do you. And our visualization as you're breathing is going to be thinking about scooping up every little piece of tension from your body, withdrawing it into your breath as you inhale, and then as you exhale, letting go. Almost like rubber bands. So as you inhale, you're pulling that rubber band, you're pulling all that tension into your breath. And as you exhale it out, the rubber band goes loose and limp. Now, other visualizations may work better for you. You may like to think about the sea. You can inhale, imagining a sea on a shore, withdrawing as it goes back into the waves. And then on the exhale, the sea rushing inwards towards the shore and covering the pebbles. And maybe you can hear the clatter of the pebbles and the hissing of the sea. Or maybe your visualization will be that you're sitting by an open fire. You've got a mug of steaming coffee or tea or chocolate, and you're covered in a warm blanket around your shoulders, and you're watching the fire crackle. Maybe the flames dance and the colours of the flames. And you breathe in the warmth and the coziness, and you exhale out anything that's worrying you. And just breathing slowly and gently. And another little one that you can do, you can just inhale and exhale. And imagine that you're watching a candle and you're watching the wax melt, and you can see dribbles of wax down the sides of the candle. And maybe on each exhale, that dribble just gets a drop or two longer before it solidifies. And as you inhale, you feel the flame start to heat up the wax again, ready for you to exhale. And see that wax melting all the way down, dribbling all the way down the side of the candle. Breathing in and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice for you whether that visualization, and a visualization doesn't have to be film quality, but notice for you whether that visualization helps you with your breathing and helps you to relax. Or you can continue doing that if you like for the rest of the episode, whilst I tell you the second way to just soothe those amygdala, the emotional centres. And the second way works well for riders because it's movement. Because when you start to move, it actually sends a signal, especially if it's slow movement. Slow movement causes a signal that everything's safe and your amygdala don't have to be on high alert. There isn't a saber-toothed tiger ready to pounce. You're okay. You're safe. And the amygdala will respond to that. So slow movement, anything where you aren't rushing around, which makes me smile because lots of people listen to these podcasts whilst mucking out, and they usually are rushing around. So if you are, take a moment now to slow your movement down. So any kind of movement, it could be slow walking. It could be walking almost without purpose. It could be a bit of Tai Chi. It could be almost like polishing something, like cleaning tack. That's really a note to me, to be honest. But you know, that sweeping movement of your hand to clean your tack. But anything at all. It could be slow cycling. It could be slow riding. See if you can do some slow movements. And here's the double whammy. Can you do the slow movement and the breathing at the same time? I'll allow you to ponder that. Let me know how it goes. Hopefully I'll be back with some more podcasts really, really soon. Take care, and I'll see you again very soon.